Hi guys, good afternoon. It is 12:15 in the afternoon. It's Saturday, April the 3rd, so happy April. We made it through March and on into April, and it's Easter Sunday tomorrow. So yeah, lots of stitching, mostly full coverage this week for me. I thought I hadn't done, I always say this, I thought I hadn't done very much non-full coverage, but I've actually got 3 or 4 pieces to show you. So I shall jump in. First I'll say hello to some new people. I've had lots of lovely comments since my last video. People saying that they've just found me and have gone back and watched some of my old videos as well. So thank you very much for anybody who's, because they're not short. I don't do short floss tubes. They're always ballpark an hour. So thank you very much if you've gone back and watched some of my oldies. This is 20 something, early 20s. Yep. So it'll be on, I don't know. I've given up count. I'm not giving up counting, but I try not to make notes. I try to just speak off the cuff as I do them. So you get what you get. That's the saying in our house. You get what you get and you don't get upset. That's how we roll in this house. Right. So this week I rounded off the history sprints. So I was really concentrating on getting as many stitches into my pieces to try and finish the history sprints, because I've decided I wasn't going to try to finish all 20 history sprints for the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group, which is run by Kim Hollenbach, is one of the administrators. She's on Flosstube. If you don't watch her, go and watch her. She's got a fantastic presentation style that I really like. She goes, here's my stitching, this piece, this piece, this piece. Thanks if you're done with the stitching. She then gives us a little life update and then she gives us an Air Force story. Now, I am a military family, but my personal career wasn't in the military, but I really get the way she talks about things. So if you're engineering or military or anything like that, then she's perfect. So I've been doing my history sprints, and if you look closely, I got all of these done, and I got halfway through that one, and then there's 2, so I was 2.5 short of finishing all 20, and I had to call it because I could not get the last stitches in. I couldn't do an extra. It would have been close on 5,000 stitches to finish the entire challenge, and I can't do that in a day and a half. I just can't, and I did my best. So there were days when I didn't do any full coverage. So anyway, all in all, 30,000 stitches in March in my full coverages, and I'm thrilled to bits. These challenges, they don't run a huge challenge like this every month. Every other month-ish we get a fairly comprehensive challenge. There was a big one in January, big one in March, and this month in April it's a weekend of, it's a confetti, a word I can't pronounce, conquistadors. Anyway, you work on your piece with the most confetti in. I'm probably going to treasure hunt bookshelf it because I can double dip that. And then they have like an annual challenge, which this year is bookshelf challenges, and you can run them in arrears. So although I can now work on April's books, I'm still working on March's books, but I have caught up to be working on March's books, which is good. My coffee's cold. I'm sure I'll get another coffee because he knows I'm recording. There's a little clip at the end of the wood he's collected. He is thrilled to bits. He has got basically 2 trees worth of wood in our front garden at the moment. I took a little clip of it to show you. That'll be on at the end. Took him about 8 trips to collect it all in our, bear in mind, we have tiny cars. We don't have big trucks or trailers or anything anymore. We've just got 2 tiny cars. So took him quite a few trips to collect it all, just because the car was getting heavier and heavier and heavier with all the wood in it. Right, so I'm going to dive in. So for my history sprints, I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think possibly 7 or 8 different pieces, but I've already shown you some of them because I didn't do any more work on some of them. So I'm just going to show you. I have start finish pictures. I put them up in the Facebook group and they're on my Instagram. So if you want to see the start finish and all the stitches, go over to my Instagram. I'll put my Instagram along here because it's not the same as my Facebook. It's not the same as my Facebook or the same as my YouTube channel. I am under my own name because I had put, up until I started Flosstube, I had probably only made about 6 or 7 posts, so it's under my own name, which I'm cool with. I'm not going to change it up now. There's no real point. Most people I recognise follow me here and follow me there, and I just like seeing other people stitching too. Tiny note on the Facebook group. I have a little Facebook group. It's a lovely little group. It's not one of these groups that you get bombarded with 40 posts a day. There's one, maybe 2 posts a day. It's a little group. It's for my subscribers. So from now on, if you ask to join my group, I'm going to check, because I've had a couple now who openly admit they don't follow me and don't watch me on Flosstube, and that's not what my Facebook group's for. It's for people who watch me and want to interact with me and each other. So that's just my little bit of housekeeping side note. If you don't subscribe to me, you're not going to get in my Facebook group. It's not too much to ask for, is it? It's click one button. But to say, the first question to join my Facebook group is, do you subscribe to me? Do you watch Flosstube, and do you subscribe to me? And I actually have had 2 people say, no, I don't. I'm like, go away then. It's not too much to ask for, is it? Had a little bit of a wobbly blip. Let's show you some cross stitch. I'm already 6 minutes in and I've not even picked up a cross stitch yet. So, full coverage wise, last week, Kingdom of Books, I have put in quite a lot of stitches into my Kingdom of Books. Not sure where it was last time, but I have done, I'm just trying to fold it so it shows, so I can hold it up nicely. There we are. So basically I finished that whole top page. That's the middle top page, and I've started on the middle bottom page, and I've started on the gates. I've done most of it. You can see the background of the gates. The gates will be this very darkest blue. I've started filling in that one, but I've done all the background on this, but I haven't done the gate colour yet. But to finish off the stitches, because I was still 400 or 500 stitches short, I just picked the bottom colours. So that is the actual bottom of the piece there. That's it full height. So it's long and narrow, because it's going to fill. You can see where I've gridded it. That's where it's gridded. So it's going to fill this. And it's a row of books. So there we go. So to fill in the stitches quickly, I just picked the bottom colours because they're big. They were big swathes. That's all the way across. So there was 150 stitches there, just going all the way across there. So there we go. So I haven't completely worked all straight down, but I vipped and bipped and dotted all over the place. So there we go. There's my Kingdom of Books. Working on the bookshelf challenge with this. I did finish February's book. Pretty sure I finished February's book and started into March's book. Let me find. I've actually written them out now. Yes, I finished February's books. So here's my bookshelf challenges. I've written the books and the month and how many stitches I need to do. So I'm keeping track of the 3. So the largest number of stitches is Bountiful Bookshelf, the middle number of stitches is the Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, and the smallest number of stitches is the Kingdom of Books. So I am now working on March's book, and I need 3040 stitches to finish March's book, and I think I'm about halfway there so far. But for April's book I only need 1760, so I should, hopefully I'll be able to crack them out in April to catch myself up to where I should be. But you can work in arrears, it's just see what you get done by the end of the year. Okay, the key. I was working on the key and I finished the sprint on the key. And I was just working up in this section here, trying to fill in as much of this as I could. I filled in quite a bit of the greys here. So this is on 14 count, two threads on 14 count. I like the coverage. It's the key, it's a Haid, it's by Kirsten Mills, and as you can see there is a key on a wall with a very beautiful dragon curled around it. This year I'd like to get this to 50% because I want this to be a 4-year project, and last year I got it to 24.8, I think, by the end of the year. So this year I'm aiming for a 50. So I need to remember it and I need to keep at it. I'm not too sure what it's at the moment. If I check, I'll put it here, but I think I'm about, I don't know if don't know if I've quite got to 30% on it yet. Okay, next one. I just finished off my sprint. I think I finished off the sprint. I'll show it you anyway. My Bountiful Bookshelf. Again, it's a Haid. It's an Amy Stewart. It's currently my favourite. And I don't think I've put any stitches into this week. I'm just working on this book here, which is coming along. I either finished off just one sprint, or I didn't do any this week. But I need to crack on with this one because I'm using it for the ongoing bookshelf challenge. 2 more full coverages, and I'll get my big one, which is now sort of permanently attached to this frame because I rammed it on very, very tightly. I have rolled it along. Here is my treasure hunt bookshelf, which I restarted. This is on 18 count cheap Aida, so the holes are very, very tight. And because the holes are so very tight, because it's cheap Aida, this is on beautiful Zweigart. You can see the beautiful soft Zweigart. So this is 18 count and I'm using 2 strands. This is 18 count and I'm only using 1 strand because it's so tight to work with. So it's on my funny little, it's on the funny little ski that sits across the bed. So what I did to try and get some good numbers, I filled in here, and it's the wrong colour, but I'm not taking it out. It is, I did 823 instead of 939. This is 939, this is 823. Big scheme of things, it's dark shadow. Oops, I'm not taking it out. There's like 300 stitches there. I'm not taking it out. And then I worked along the top here. What I need to get my hands on is the Krynic, the pearl Krynic, which I'm having a bit of trouble sourcing. I assume it will turn up eventually. I'm just leaving the gaps till I find it. So I've gone through some very pale blues. The gaps are for the white. And I'm into a couple of lovely purples. So the colours I've been working on across here are absolutely lovely. I'll put a few more stitches in here, and the little gaps are for purple flowers, I think. So I am cracking on with this. Absolutely love this piece, and it's one that will take me forever, but I really do want to finish it. It's not a, oh, maybe someday one. It's one I actually want finished. Saying that, I think I'm only at 6% or something. Again, I'll look it up on Pattern Keeper and I'll put it just here where I am actually on it. And then the last piece I worked on, which I can actually tell you what percentage I'm at, as this is now on my cheapy fire, which I bought on Black Friday for the grand total of £30. I am at 17.8% of a mini sunflower cottage, and I'm very, very pleased. This is my first foray into 25 count. That is its size. That's that edge, that's that edge. Nearly, I've got a few stitches to put in here. That's that edge and that's that edge top, and then my fabric only is that long, so it'll come to about there. I literally found a scrap to fit it, and sewed the waste fabric on the sides so that it sits into, so that I can hold it in my 11 by 11. So this is just waste fabric. I'll just sort it out when it's finished, and I would really, really like to finish this year. So what have I done? I got all the 995 filled in, and then picked up the next colour, and it was 3865. It's bright turquoise. So I went from bright turquoise to bright turquoise, but you can see it's ever such a lighter, ever so slightly lighter turquoise. There's some of it there, and there's some of it around the inside of these hearty bubbles. I filled in, just to get my stitches finished for the history sprint, I filled in this is 3865, this is the white, and then I've put in the next colour inside the heart, which I didn't have but was in my box of DMC that I got from San Diego. So that was brilliant because I was like, oh no, I haven't got the colour. And now I know to check the box from her, and there it was sitting there looking at me. So I managed to get this next pink put in that heart, and I've been putting in, I put in this dark bit this morning, this dark blue here, and I need 99 something in there, 796 I think goes in there to fill in that top corner. I'll do that today. So I'm really super happy with it. It's about to hit colour. There's a cottage here, and then there's a great big sunflower at the bottom. It's a beautiful picture. This is a Sal, selling along with lots of other people who have jumped on to do it too. And because it's on 25 count and it's dinky, I'm really enjoying it. And I didn't think I could stitch on 25 count over, that's one strand of DMC, and it's more than thick enough. It's lovely. Every now and again, all I need to do is get my needle and just manipulate a stitch that's pulled a little bit, just so that it fills in its little square properly. But I'm loving this, and it's going to be, hopefully by the end of the year, on the wall. Okay, non-full coverage pieces. I think I've only worked on 4. So last Friday in the evening, after I did my floss tube, we had our Stitchy Zoom, which was absolutely brilliant. Really, really lovely. It's lovely getting to actually spend some time and getting to know people. So I filled in quite a bit of her dress, but I got bored and moved on to something else, you know, because after a while. So I did fill in quite a bit of the dress, but there's a lot of dress to do. So that's the Stitching Goddess. This is the redhead Stitching Goddess from Tiny Modernist. I bought it on Etsy as an instant PDF download. It's on a piece of 32 count that I dyed myself, full mottling that I dyed myself. It's actually a little bit bluer, it's showing a little bit purple, but it's really lovely. And I have enough space to put the other one, because there's an Asian girl as well, and she'll be on the other half of the fabric. So I'm going to do the pair of them, and I'm just going to change up the other girl. I'm going to change up so that the hummingbirds are purple. Her dress will be very pale mauve instead of cream. I'm going to change up the colours, because it's the same pattern, apart from her hair and just the top of her dress, it's the same pattern. So I'm going to change up the colours so that I can put them next to each other and that they'll look different, just ever so slightly. They'll be the same but different, which is essentially what the pattern is anyway. What's my tablet doing? And then on Sunday morning, because on Sunday morning I'm always looking for a little something to grab quickly and pick up. This is the Emma Congdon that came in the Cross Stitch magazine. It says "You're all kinds of amazing." It's got some tigers at the bottom. It's absolutely wonderful. This is on the piece of fabric that I hand dyed myself. I was trying to get it a flat colour. You can see I've got a big mottle there that I wasn't aiming to do. But it turned out the colour I wanted it. It started out colonial blue, so it did not bad in the end. And I put in this piece of greenery up this side and this pink flower. These, I'm pulling all the colours from my old anchor stash that I got from auction. Got a big pack of old anchor threads at auction, and I'm pulling from them to stitch that, and I'll talk about those in just a minute. Then it was Long Dog Leap Day, and because I didn't do Long Dog Leap Day last month, I thought I would, still miles away, I'm going to flash the pattern. I'm using a paper pattern because I bought the full paper pattern from Lakeside. I'm trying to finish this page. It's page 5, and it's like, if you've done Pandemic or are on Pandemic, it's like page 6 on Pandemic. It's full on cross stitch, and as you can see, I've still not finished the page. So I was working on it, and I've been working on it on and off, and I've had it in the car. I've had it in the car with me, so it's been my go-to grabby piece. This is on a 28 count, so I got, it was white, and now it's exactly that colour. The light is good today. And here is my pilgrim. It was my first Long Dog start, and I finished pages 1, 2, 3, 4. I've started pages 5, 6, 7, 8, but this is page 5. You can see I've done quite a bit of page 6, but I've been working over here in page 5, and I've basically done that bit. Basically this strip here some of it was already stitched. I've kind of just stitched in that bit. So you can see it's absolutely as close to being completely just stitched in as you can get. Well, the raven is completely stitched in. Gosh, you took me a long time. So I'm doing this for the Long Dog Leap Day, Sal. So my aim is for 4 years for this, to finish this by Leap Day in, what will it be, 2024. So as you can see, it's going to fit the piece. So I've got the middle 4 pages are ongoing at the moment, but I want to get that page 5 finished. That's it, taken off the Q snap now, so that will be, that's my Q snap back in rotation for something else. I'll just clip these on, otherwise I will lose them, because I've got 2 that I only have 3, and I don't know where the 4th's gone. I'm going to need this tomorrow. For that I am using Mrs. Sadus Darling. Mrs. Sadus Darling colourway. It's 6 strand, 6-ply silk, and as you can see I bought a full hank. Gosh, there's crap everywhere in this place, and I've still got balls of it, some on a spool there. I've got tons. A full hank, that's 28 count, 2 over 2, and it's fine, you know. Is it 28 count or is it 32? It might be 32. I'm never quite sure. I'd have to go back into eBay and look up when I bought the piece. It is I just bought a yard of Zweigart. You can see the orange, and I dyed it using Dylon purple, and it didn't take the colour up as well as I thought it was going to, so it didn't end up the bright bold purple, but it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. So there's my pilgrim. Wow, that's really cold. So my last little piece, day before yesterday, it was late on Friday that the last part of the Dreaming Girl Sal was released. Now I'm stitching this on a piece of crystal gothic that I got from the Patchwork Rabbit, and that's the size piece I got, and that's the size of my Dreaming Girl. So I struggle to stitch on this in artificial light. In natural light I've got no problem, I can whiz through it. As soon as it gets dark and I put my light on and, you know, I've not got any natural light coming in, I can't see the holes. So my stitches start to go a bit wonky. So I stopped last night just before I'd finished filling in the hair. I've just got this piece here and this piece here, and then that's the underneath of her hair filled in, and then I'm going to fill in the leaves, and then I've just got this last little winter. I've got a few stars and a few more little clouds and dots and these little guys here. Got a few of those to put in, some stars up top here, and then I've got all of this bit to do and the leaves in her hair. So that's my Dreaming Girl Sal, and she will be done quite soon. She'll be done quite soon because I am cracking on with her. And that's all the cross stitch I've done this week. Yeah, that's about it. Otherwise than that, I've ordered more fabric. Pardon me, that hiccups from my cold coffee. I've ordered dressmaking fabric because I might have said back in January possibly that I offered to make Maddie a coat and she's chosen a cloak. So I've ordered a pattern. I've ordered some black flannel, which we're going to, but she wants sleeves on her cloak, so when she pokes her arms through the slits she wants to have sleeves. So I'm going to make a bolero to go underneath that will just join at the collar. So it'll be, and we're not talking D&D cape, we're talking usable, it's a cape instead of a coat. It's going to be tailored, it's not going to be voluminous. She's not going to look like an extra from the Lord of the Rings. She's going to look like, she's going to be, oh yeah, she's the girl with the black cloak and boots, rather than she's the one that wears the parka, you know, the parka and DMs. We wear Fly London boots and she's going to have a black cloak. So I've ordered another sample, because the sample I got back in January, they no longer have that fabric. So I thought rather than buy 6 meters of black wool, I need to check it's what I want. So I ordered loads of samples, some samples of velvet, because she's got this wonderful dress that I got for Christmas, but I reckon I can pull a pattern off that, no bother. And because she wants more, but they're quite expensive, so I thought, well, if I can pull a pattern from the dress and make her copies of it, you know, like our version of it, so that because she likes it as an everyday dress. So I've ordered some strips of some, basically they cut a 10cm strip. Now I've had samples from them before, so I know what I'm getting. So I've ordered lining colours in colours that I know I can make bias binding from. So my project bags, long story short, I've ordered fabric to make bias binding with, and I've ordered more of the koi carp fabric because I absolutely love it, and I am determined to make some project bags. I've got a massive Etsy shop update coming. We've literally got tons of stuff made that I either need to just finish off. I've got a current issue. I've lost my little pack of lobster claws. So although I've made loads of things, they don't have the little lobster claw to clip them on so that you can turn them into scissor fobs. I'm going hunting over there later on. There, in that mess. People on my Zoom call the other day, I turned my camera around and they saw some of the hoardy mess. So yeah, some of you know what I'm talking about. I've got a little poly bag with lobster claws in it somewhere in that. Anyway, tomorrow is Easter Sunday. Tomorrow is my start day. Tomorrow I start my Celtic Lady, my Celtic Summer. Lavender and lace, Celtic Summer. If you've watched some of my previous floss tubes, you'll know I'm absolutely batty about these Celtic Ladies, and I managed to snag on eBay a full kit up, including the unobtainium needle paints, the greens and the purples. They are my best thing. Isn't it ridiculous? I am aware that it sounds mental, but I'm still, every time I look at them I go, ooh. If they're awful to stitch with, honestly, I'll cry. So I did get pretty much the full kit up. I've got the beads, there's most of the DMC, I think there's 3 or 4 short, and there's 4 cards of the petite treasure braid. And then I did show it a little while ago, but I dyed myself the piece of fabric, and I'm going to stitch it. I'm going to start up in this corner. I might start up in this corner. We'll see which corner I start in, but I'm going to make sure I get it nice and high, because the further down the fabric, the more the mottling is, and I pretty much want that dress to cover that. So I was going for a blossom and leaves on the pale green, because the fabric that came with it is the green. So I did a not bad job dyeing the green, and then I went a bit nuts because that's kind of how I roll, and I got a little carried away, and that's my piece of fabric. So I'm starting that tomorrow. I may or may not film a little bit of it as I get it going. So I shall keep that out, and I shall put that on there, and I'll be starting this tomorrow. And I have to admit, I am very excited and really, really looking forward to getting it started, because that is going to be a fairly massive ongoing project. But we shall see how I do. So that's my plan. I did start something else new, which I'm going to flash it at you. While we were on our Zoom call, Christy, who has a floss tube, I will put her along here. She does embroidery. She's a historian. She's very, very interesting to listen to. So if you like, she's just branching into cross stitch. So if you like, go and watch her, because she's brilliant. And we were musing about whether we could turn patterns into patchwork, because one's square. It's pixel art, isn't it? Cross stitch is pixel art. My little boy has an app and he colours in pictures with pixel art, and I'm like, it's just cross stitch. All I'm doing is I'm doing a stitch every time you poke and it colours in. I do one stitch and it colours in, and he's like, oh, and he looks at my cross stitch and he goes, yes, I see what you're doing now, as opposed to you're just nuts, which is what he usually goes with. So I said, I wonder if you can knit it. Has anyone ever knitted cross stitch? Anyone ever knitted a long dog sampler? So my hardest struggle has been castles in the air. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling stitching it. I don't know why. So I restarted castles in the air. I restarted it in double knitting. Here is the bottom and a gorgeous bunny, and obviously you go one row at a time. It's being stitched in what's called intarsia. So you're doing a 2-colour twist. I twist every 2 stitches. That's the back, so it ends up lovely and thick, and I twist every 2 stitches to keep your tension good and neat. I'm a competent knitter. There's the middle bit. So as it goes on, I'll do more and more. Obviously the background is beautiful variegated yarn, which is just acrylic that I bought from Turkey, Ice Yarn. Secret Yarnery, got very into her for a while before I found Flosstube. And I've ordered from Ice for years. They're ever so good. They deliver worldwide from Turkey. And that's some very, very, it is the midnight of midnighty blues. It's not quite black, because I generally am not quite. I always prefer, if I can get a blue that looks like black, that'll do me. So it's blue and rainbow, and I'm aiming to do, I mean, it's on a circular pin just because it's big. So as it progresses, I'm going to pin it and photograph it, but I haven't put pictures of it up anywhere yet. And I tried working off a digital copy, failed miserably, and taped together the pattern, which I'm doing row by row, start bottom up, row by row, and we'll see how it comes out. A knitted long dog. Something different, huh? Not cross stitch, I appreciate, but using cross stitch patterns, so technically Flosstube, I think. Okay, last little bits. I had lots of people enter for the giveaway last week, which was for the Blackbird design, the Blackbird pattern, and the needle minder, because pattern's lovely and a bit of my nonsense. And I did the random number for the people who mentioned Cat and Alexandria. I shall put you along here. Alexandria, please ping me an email. Email address should be below. Either grab me on Instagram or ping me on Messenger on Facebook with a postal address. You say you're in the Netherlands, so this will be coming to you in the Netherlands. A lovely Blackbird pattern. And this week I pulled another one from the wonderful box of patterns. It's a pull out from the world of cross stitching. I don't know when from, but I think it's very apt for this week. It has to be, I haven't checked, but I'm assuming it's Emma Congdon. I'm assuming. Bottom right, doesn't say. How to make it. Yes, Emma Congdon, had to be. It is by Emma Congdon. It's chocolate. So Easter, I'm not religious. Easter to my kids is chocolate. There we go. So all you need is chocolate. And it's absolutely lovely pattern. It's so decisively Emma Congdon, and that's been actually finished in a little hanging, which is really nice and unusual. And it probably has the instructions of how to, let me check, full patterns here, full how to make a hanging. Yes. So it's 4 pages, beautifully taken out of the magazine, and with it I will add in a little Easter short scissor fob. It is a little knitted Easter egg with some sparklies, some little beads and sequins, little flower sequins and beads. And as I say, I've lost my lobster claws. It will have a lobster claw on the top, I promise. I've got to find them because I've got tons of stuff I need to list. So it's a little short scissor fob, Eastery, little Easter egg. I know Easter's tomorrow. I know by the time I give it away, Easter will have gone, but it's not Easter yet. If I'd have got my act together, I would have done them earlier. But I didn't because I'm me, and I have done full coverage stitching for the month of March instead of sorting out my Etsy shop and doing all of that. I haven't done it. I've been stitching. So, lovely chocolate pattern and an egg. It will be a short scissor fob because I will find my lobster claws and put a lobster claw on top of the jump ring there. It's got a jump ring on it, it's all ready. I just cannot find the lobster claws, and I wasn't going to not do my floss tube because I couldn't find a lobster claw. I will by the time I post it out. So if you mention Easter, then I will put you into the dip for the lovely Emma Congdon pattern and the little scissor fob ping. That's, guys, I think that's it. That's going to be a not too long one for me today, I think. I haven't worked on anything else. Oh, May. I am going to do, I've got a lot of projects started that I don't think are very big. I don't think they're very big. They probably are pretty big. So for my mania this year, I'm going to see if I can finish off. I'm just looking at my whip board over there. I think there's 3, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 8 or 9 what I would term as small pieces. This Emma Congdon is on the list. So I would like to have a really, really decent stab at finishing 8 or 9 smallish whips. I've got 2 long dogs on the list. I've got my Anzac, which is not quite half done at the moment. So what I'm going to start doing in April, so my plans for April before we get to May is I'm going to quietly work on the pieces that I want to get finished in May. The aim is to finish them, and then at the end of May I'm going to have a go at fully finishing the ones that I've finished, instead of just piling them up in a big pile like everything else that I've finished is just piled up in a pile. I'm going to have a really good stab at actually finishing, or fully finishing, the things that I want to finish in May. I think I've been realistic, but perhaps maybe over optimistic. So in April I'm going to quietly work on the pieces. I'm going to pull them and quietly work on them so that when it comes to May I'm not, you know, hopefully by then Anzac will be 80% finished. I think it's about, I don't know where it is, I think it might be halfway, I'm not sure. It's on my phone and I don't know. So my long dog Anzac's on there. The Count Your Blessings is on there, but that's the one I've only just started that I'm doing on teeny tiny 28 count. It's on there because I want to just put a little bit in every day. So in May for Mania I'm going to try and finish, there's possibly 9, possibly 10 pieces that I'm going to have a really good stab at finishing, and in the same breath I'm going to still keep working on my 3 bookshelf pieces for the bookshelf challenge, to which I'm going to try and put 100 stitches a day into 1, 2 or 3 of them, depending on how busy I am that day. Now in May I will be working every day of the week for some hours. It might only be 3 hours, it might be 5 hours, it might be an 11-hour shift. It's going to vary wildly, but I'm going to be working every day of May, and then from then on I'll be working every single day, and obviously that's unsustainable long term, so I'm going to give myself 3 months to sort out my work schedule thing. So there might be a few blips, changes coming up, but I'm not going to get stressed by it. I'm just going to go with it. I've had months and months of not working very much at all and getting furlough pay. So I've had the smooth, I might have to do some rough. So I've just got to go with it, and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to stitch as much as I can. I'm in a very fortunate position, even though I work and I will be back working a lot. My children are much older, they don't really need much hands-on care. They'll come in and talk to me in the evening, which is brilliant, which is fine. You know, they'll tell me about their day, they'll tell me if they need anything, they'll tell me that, you know, we can do all of that, that's fine. But the nuts and bolts of caring for them, the making the food, the sorting out the clothes, Robin does that for me. So that's easy on me. He's the house husband, I'm the person that goes out and works, but I also need to do lots of stitching as well. And obviously as soon as I'm home from work, the kids all need me too. So there's a balance in there. It's finding it, but I'm not gonna not stitch, because that gives me that, ooh, that ease down at the end of the day that a lot of us need, I think. And it allows my brain to just, the day just can outside. But I'm trying to organise it so nothing's very stressful. My jobs aren't, my 2 jobs, neither of them are terribly stressful. I should be able to keep up with everything and keep on top of everything, and that's what keeps me calm, is knowing that I'm on top of what I need to be doing. So that's that. And in other news, I have today been out to B&Q, which is our home, it's our Home Depot, but it is UK size. So our store is this size, as opposed to a Home Depot's like this. Our store. Anyway, I went out today and I got all sorts of little bits and pieces I need. I got wall fixings and I got a tin of very, very pale grey for the thing that I'm putting here on the wall. So fingers crossed, maybe, perhaps, we might have this wall behind decorated, and the top half, basically it's the top half of a dresser, a Welsh dresser. The bottom half has gone, but the top half with the shelves and the fluty sidey bits is intact. But it's currently bright pink, bright purple and bright blue, which I'm over my house being painted that colour now. I wasn't at the time. So it's going to get painted and put on this wall here. So I'll be able to actually put some of the stuff that's clogging the works over there can go on this. One, to give you something to look at, and then underneath I'm going to leave the space underneath to hang finished pieces if I ever get any fully finished. We shall see. So there's that, and I think, guys, that's me all done. So mention Easter in a comment if you want to be entered into the dip for the lovely Emma Congdon and what will be a short scissors fob as and when I find the bloody lobster claws, which are currently, don't know where. They're in a little poly bag and they've fallen into the abyss, and I need to sort out the abyss. And I've got tons of other stuff in process. I've finally done a whole load of Fimo gluing. As I say, I've got tons of stuff to list on Etsy. Again, it's just getting round to it. I have now got, between today and Easter Sunday tomorrow, I am not working until Friday next week, where I'll be in at the golf club. We'll be in all day. We're sorting out, getting the beer back on, orders and all of that, because Monday morning we can serve people outside. We can serve outsiders, so that's fine. We've set up all the tables outside, everything's ready, as long as it doesn't pour with rain. It's absolutely glorious today, but it's meant to snow on Monday, so if it snows on Monday I will take a clip of that, because at the minute it couldn't be more beautiful. The sky is pure blue outside here up north in England. It is beautiful. We'll see if it snows on Monday. And with that, guys, I shall see you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to anybody who's new, who is watching. And yeah, hopefully I can get loads of stitches in this week, because this might be the last week I can bang in thousands of stitches, because yeah, everything is changing the following week, because I'm going to be working a lot. So this might be my last full week of tons and tons of stitching. We shall see. And if I barely get any stitching done, we'll see about the Flosstube schedule, because if I've only worked on one piece and put in 15 stitches, it's not really worth my while blabbering for an hour. But hey, we'll just see. We'll just see how we get along. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you again really soon. Thank you. Bye bye. So we popped out to get some more wood. The poor car. been filled to the point where we almost couldn't drive it. It was so low on its suspension. So, poor little car. There's his engine hoist, and there's the first load there. This will break your heart, Darren. There's our RX-8, which, as you can see, is green. So we've got it, and it's in the driveway, but it's green. And we've got logs. He's like, there's a lot of thread drops and pen blanks in the boot of the car. Yes, indeed. Here's all of Robin's wood that he picked up. Some total of several trees. As you can see today, it is a beautiful day. It's meant to snow on Monday. We shall see.